Once again, I want to welcome you into today's presentation. And before starting, I want to quote 3 John 2. The Bible says that, Beloved, above all things, I pray that you succeed and you be in good health. Now, being in good health is a biblical aspect, and believe me, trust me, the presentation for today is here to ensure that you, my viewer, my follower, my subscriber, you be in good health. So, welcome so much, and I'm Pastor Counselor James Omari, hashtag neighbor. My email address is right there. You can look at it. My YouTube channel is Pastor and Counselor Omari underscore neighbor. You can follow, you can subscribe. Now, for today, I want us to look at depression. And I have divided this topic into 3 parts. Part 1, we look at understanding depression. Part 2, we will look at types of depressions. And part 3, we will look at what to do. What to do when you have depression or when your friend has a depression. Now, for today, for this presentation, I'm going to present part 1, and we are going to answer the question, understanding depression. What is depression? And for us to understand depression, then we need to know what causes depression. So I want us to look at what causes depression so that we can be able to understand what depression is. Now, what causes depression? There are several things that causes depression, and one of it being the family history. Now, having a family member who have depression may increase a person's risk. Okay? Deficiency of certain chemicals in the brain may lead to depression. And these chemicals, we call them neurotransmitters. Okay? These neurotransmitters, example of neurotransmitters is serotonin. Now, serotonin, when it lowers, the levels of serotonin go down in your mind or in your brain, then they cause depression, anxiety, stress, and all those things. Now, just to help you, serotonin is very important, and even through the eyes, looking at the rays of the sun, you can increase the levels of serotonin in your brain. But we look at it later on when we'll be looking at the importance of sunlight. Now, another causes is major life changes. And in these major life changes, we have negative or particularly stressful events that can trigger depression. Some of these examples include death of a loved one, or losing a job, or a changing of a job. Right now, currently, as I'm presenting this, we are on restrictions because of the pandemic that is all over globally, the corona pandemic. So there are people who have gone through negative, stressful events. You can imagine some being restricted, movements. There are countries where people have been locked down, no movement. Now, somebody traveled from abroad and just to be isolated. Now, if this becomes a negative thing, then it can lead to depression. You can refer this more to one of my presentation about stress, and of course how to manage stress. Now, another major life changes is illnesses such as heart attack, stroke, cancer. All these may trigger depression. Now, let's pause for a bit. What if someone has corona? Can that be a cause of depression? Yes. So there are certain medication used alone or in combination can cause side effects much like the symptoms of depression. Now, use of alcohol or other drugs can lead to worsen depression. Depression can also occur for no apparent reason. I think you've heard people saying, "Oh, I'm depressed," for just no apparent reason. Note this, that use of alcohol and other drugs can lead or worsen depression. Why? Alcohol, drugs, some of these substances, they interfere with the neurotransmitters. Okay? And when the levels go down for the neurotransmitters, then it is a good cause for you, or a good menu for having depression, if I put it that way. Well, symptoms. What are the symptoms of depression? For us to understand what depression is, some of the symptoms, and it's good to note that they vary from person to person. The way I might feel, it is different with how somebody else might feel. But there are two key signs, okay, of depression. Number one, loss of interest in the things you like to do. Okay? Number two, pervasive sadness or irritability. Now, these are two key signs. Let us look at other signs. Okay? Other signs, additional signs include changes in feelings. You might realize some of those feelings have changed. Feeling empty, okay? A feeling of inability to enjoy anything, hopelessness, loss of sexual desire, especially to the married. There are marriages that are breaking simply because one or the other partner has lost the sexual desire. It could be that the contribution is this depression. Now, loss of warm feeling for our family or friends, feelings of self-blame or guilt, loss of self-esteem. Okay, when your self-respect, self-worth goes down, these are signs. At some point, keep checking. I'll present about self-esteem and what to do to boost your self-esteem. Another sign that is changes in the feeling is inexplicable crying spell, sadness, or irritability. Now let's look at some of the physical, changes in behavior and attitude. Okay, now when you see such changes, then it might be as well that depression is creeping in or it's already there. General slowing down, neglect of responsibilities and appearance, poor memory, an inability to retain things or to memorize things, inability to concentrate, suicidal thoughts and feelings, difficulty making decisions. Now, these are some of the behavioral changes and attitudes when one is experiencing depression. What are some of the physical complaints? Okay, for us to understand depression, some of the physical complaints, this may include, sleep disturbances such as insomnia, early morning waking, or weight loss or gain, unexplained headaches or backaches, stomachache, indigestion, changes in bowel habits. Now, these are some of the physical complaints when people who are going through depression or almost into depression, you'll hear them complaining about them. Now, having said that, we are through with our part 1. The next presentation, we'll be looking at part 2, and that is the types of depression. I want you to just click there, subscribe, share my channel for more other presentation. For this, I want to pray that you be in good health. You prosper in all things. Be blessed. See you next time as we look forward for another presentation. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And hey, you can drop a comment right down there so that I know where you are listening from and how helpful is this presentation to you. Thank you.